Before we start the video, last week I was saying how we needed to bring back game genres for Roblox. Obviously we still have the genre label on each game page, but we can't actually do anything with it. We can't search or filter for certain game genres we want to play, and I know it's been years, but come on! This was an objectively good feature, but because companies can't be satisfied with having a good user experience, they have to pay their web developers to make their website worse! I gotta pay the bills somehow. Like, the only upside that I can think of that come from removing genres is that you no longer have games with misleading genres like a horror game with a genre tag of a simulator. But I genuinely cannot think of a single... oh my god, that voice cracked. But I genuinely cannot think of a single advantage to removing game genres. Maybe instead of paying your developers to change friends to connections, you should pay them to bring back game genres. David Baszucki! Please, can you do one good thing in your life instead of making Roblox a dating app to find underage girl connections? So like, a few weeks ago, I made a video on the verb and noun games. You know, steal a brain rot and all that stuff. I say that as only briefly played 2 other games. However, that was just a gameplay video where I poked fun at the experience. However, these games got me thinking. Look all around Roblox and you'll see these games. I'm talking about Grow a Garden. I'm talking about Steal a Brain Rot. I'm talking about all of their clones. Man, side tangent, but seeing games on Roblox surpass 1 million concurrent players is still wild to me. I remember back in like the late 2010s when Jailbreak was the most popular game on the platform with like 20,000 concurrent players. Oh, the good old days. Guys, wait, I swear I'm not a Roblox boomer that says, everything was better back in my day. Early Jailbreak versus Steal a Brain Rot is a no-brainer which game comes out on top. Before we continue though, I want to let you guys know to like and subscribe because I promise I'm gonna finish the Block Tales video like I said I would, but it's just taking forever. That and our goal is to hit 50k subs by the end of the year. Also, join the Discord and stuff. Okay, back to the video. First of all, let's just say what we're all thinking. These games are pretty dang low effort. Now, if this were any other game platform, the game would be ridiculed. But this is Roblox, the central hub of all the world's 4-year-olds as they play on their mom's tablet, crusted over with their snot and spit. Every single one of these games looks the same. Not only that, but it's the same 3 freaking themes. Let's see. Garden, Brain Rot, Vehicle. Garden, Brain Rot, Vehicle. Garden, Brain Rot, Vehicle. Garden, Brain Rot, Vehicle. You only got 3 things on this platform! It's all the same copy and paste junk reskinned. It's either you plant something for passive income, you buy something off a moving conveyor belt for passive income, or you drive a vehicle for passive income. Passive income this, passive income that. This is a dropshipper's wet dream. When do I get to play the freaking game? That reminds me, the gameplay loops of each of these retro games somehow feel more shallow than the meta games from a few years ago. Also, by the way, when I'm talking about Retroslop games, I'm not just talking about games with a retro art style, I'm talking about slop games with a retro art style. If you guys know any good or underrated games with a retro art style, be sure to put them in the comments. With that cleared up, all of these games rely on some stupid RNG to make your money faster. Now, I honestly don't mind RNG mechanics in gaming that much, I'm gonna be honest. Look, most of my early videos were on JoJo games, but obviously it gets to a point. Stuff like gacha games will be the death of me if I ever get addicted. RNG like Grow a Garden's shop system is completely time dependent, so you have to gamble with your time. The game brags about growing offline, but you have to log into the game to actually buy the stuff you want. That means you have to wait in the server, and the devs get their premium payout thanks to all that extra playtime. Steal a Brain Rot's conveyor belt shop is similar in how it's time dependent, but I feel like this is even worse. There's only so much conveyor belt space that you have for your brain rots. They're also constantly rotating out, and only one person can buy a brain rot from off the belt. All the brain rots are RNG, so you never know when a good brain rot will come out. Oh, but don't worry, there's a timer that measures how long it'll take until a guaranteed brain rot will spawn. This encourages players to stay in the server for even longer due to sunk cost fallacy. They gotta get that legendary Blenderini Chimpanzini no matter what. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but it should be obvious by now that a lot of these tie in Italian brain rot memes. I made a video on brain rot games ages ago, back when they were new. They were like funny for a week, but then like Roblox thought it was the best thing ever, and they made entire games based around it. Granted, they were all like cheaply made to chase after a trend. I think the most popular one at the time, Brain Rot Evolution, was a reskin of the dev's old game, Capybara Evolution. I cannot wait for the next meme to come so Roblox can stop dragging Italian brain rot for the next year. I want to touch on the monetization on the games a little bit too. I've already mentioned how these games have every little psychological trick in the book to get you to stay in the game for as long as possible, like a master manipulator in an anime. But they also feature heaps of more traditional microtransactions. They got upgrades that you can buy in the cash shop, and of course, you can't forget about gacha. We all love gambling for ones and zeros. The only difference here is that there's no jiggling breasts to get attached to. However, one of these microtransactions really intrigued me, and that's this Forever Pack. Essentially, the Forever Pack is filled with a bunch of free goodies, with free being in the biggest of air quotes. It's like a battle pass, but all the tiers are unlocked. You just have to claim all of them, but you have to claim them in order. Unfortunately, certain tiers are locked behind a paywall. That means that you progress in the Forever Pack until you encounter a paywall, and it's like, I just have to pay this one tier, and then I get to have all this free stuff to myself again. This is literally just a roundabout way to sell goodie packs. The cost of the paywall isn't just for the one tier, but it also covers the cost of the quote-unquote free rewards too. It's just another way to trick the player into thinking they're getting a good deal. Last thing I want to say is that, like most Roblox metas, this is detrimental for the games page as a whole. Obviously, Roblox metas were never a thing because they had the best games, but this meta has been one of my least favorites in a while. Because of the fact that the meta hinges on the idea of retro aesthetics, every game is allowed to make the lowest quality assets possible. Like, look at a retro style game like Block Tales or Unorthodox Accounting and compare that to Grow a Garden or Steal a Brain Rot. This is like comparing an indie game's art team to a bootleg NES game. Grand damn! Even I could make a better game than these. And I know I say these as like a bit, but if you want me to make a video making a better game than this slop, let me know in the comments. At the end of the day, this meta is gonna come and go. The next meta is probably gonna be worse than this, not gonna lie. More addictive pieces of garbage are gonna come along and try to sap every dollar from little Timmy's mom's credit card. He's gonna have some serious withdrawal once mommy does his chargeback from all the Robux he bought. This is pretty indicative of a larger problem in Roblox that I mentioned in my last video because of how it prioritizes quick attention grabs and monetization over making an actually good game. Also, the fact that these trends could be so lucrative incentivizes devs to spend only a short time developing for the latest fad to capitalize on things still in the Gen Alpha zeitgeist. Well, as long as Roblox pays its devs, there's always going to be someone who tries to game the system. You know what they say, hate the game, not the player. Unless that player's Paragon. In that case, you know who you are. No. Do not give me that look, buddy. You think I'm a hater just because you're the head director? Does this ring a bell? Shout out to our awesome channel members, Sinwaver, Kuzi, Casual Peanut, Pando, Apelix, and Boneworks Addict. Click below if you want to join the channel today.